Let's talk about how to pay for things in China as a tourist. Because that's something that can easily disrupt your trip and become the biggest headache if not done right. But don't worry, it's actually quite easy and we'll go through the exact steps to set up Alipay in this video. Be sure to watch to the end to get a great tip and the exact phrase in Chinese that you can use during your trip to avoid paying those extra fees. So the first thing to know is that China handles payments a little differently than many other countries. China is largely cashless, and what that means is that while cash is still generally accepted, it's not that common, and it's not just cash. Even physical credit cards are not often accepted because the card readers are just not that common. Instead, the preferred method of payment for basically everything is by using a mobile payment app, with the two major players being Alipay and WeChat Pay. So how this will work is you'll have to link your card on one of these apps and then use the app to pay in China. The app basically acts as a middleman to facilitate your transactions. While that might sound a little bit complicated, I promise that once you get past the first few minutes that it takes to set up, it's actually quite convenient. So you'll start by downloading the Alipay app from the App Store or Google Play. After agreeing to the privacy agreement, you can sign up using either your phone number or one of these other sign-up methods. Regardless of which method you choose, just make sure you're able to receive a verification code. After entering in the verification code, you'll then choose the country or region on your ID, and then you'll be led to the main homepage of Alipay. It should be in English by default, and if you need to change the language, you can tap Account on the bottom, tap the gear icon on the top, tap this red gear icon where it says General, and then the second option will be Language. Now onto the main part, adding your credit or debit card. If you go back to the home page, which is this first Home tab with the circle here on the bottom, you'll see this prompt here for you to add your card information. If it doesn't appear here for some reason, you can also go to the Account tab. Tap on the bank cards. It'll ask you to set up a payment password, basically a PIN, and then you can add your card on the next step. Just make sure that the card is on one of these supported payment networks shown here. So that's Visa, MasterCard, Amex, and so forth. And if you have a card that has no foreign transaction fees, I recommend you to use that one so you can avoid paying extra fees there. I'll also drop a couple of credit cards with no foreign transaction fees in the description box below if you're looking for one. Now at stores, you'll just go to the Home tab and then tap Pay/Receive, and then the employee will scan where it says Pay Vendor. You can also initiate payment from your end, but it's generally easier to have them just scan your code. If you want to receive payment, you'll need to verify your ID in the app. But for the typical tourist who's just purchasing and not receiving payment, there's no need for this, and I've never set mine up. Now, while the steps I mentioned should work for the vast majority, I still suggest you test Alipay as soon as you land in China. Try at the airport with a small purchase, maybe a bottle of water at the convenience store. That way, if there is any issue, you can find out early and avoid surprises later on. And in case of issues, it's always good to have a small amount of physical cash to convert, just as a backup. Now, before we talk about fees and an awesome tip to avoid fees, if you found this video helpful so far, let me know by dropping a like and consider subscribing to learn more great travel tips for China and beyond. Now back to fees. Using Alipay for payment is completely free for transactions up to 200 RMB, which is about 27 US dollars using today's conversion rate. And then anything above 200 RMB will incur a 3% fee, which is a standard fee among these payment apps. And while that isn't terrible, no one likes to pay extra fees, and if you want a way to get around it, here's how you can do so. If you're making a purchase that's not substantially over 200, let's say you're buying something that's 358 RMB, you can ask the vendor to split into two transactions, one for 200 and one for 158. That way you stay under the fee limit for each transaction and avoid the extra charges. And if you don't speak Chinese, you can just show them this message on your phone. This means, can you split this into multiple transactions, each under 200? I'm visiting from abroad and there's a fee for payments over 200. Every vendor I asked was happy to do this, but I would only recommend this for smaller purchases. More than 2 or 3 split payments may be a little bit inconvenient. But honestly, 200 RMB goes pretty far for daily spending in China, so this generally shouldn't be an issue. And that's it. Alipay is honestly super convenient if you're visiting China. It's fast, reliable, and works basically everywhere. WeChat Pay is another option that I'll cover in another video. If you found this video helpful and want more China travel tips, make sure to subscribe to get notified for the next video. I'll see you there.